Hello everyone, yours truly, Chrislevi13, and welcome to episode 32 of the Vault 13 podcast. It's yours truly, Chrislevi13. Now, I know it's later than I wanted it to be, but it's better later than never, you know. I'd rather pop an episode out than not have an episode. So with that being said, everybody, we're going to be talking about several things here tonight on this podcast episode, you know, and everything like that. Hopefully you all are doing good on this Thursday night, and everything like that. Make sure you hit that like button, you share the stream out, and all that good stuff. Me, it's a little bit later than I wanted to go live, but hey, nonetheless, yours truly is here live for each and every single one of you all, the viewers from around the world, the Vault Squad, with another episode of the podcast that you all seem to continue to like y'all like. Hey podcast. You know, I get a lot of y'all may not be here watching it live and in person, but I get the views. But with that being said, we're gonna be talking about current games I'm playing through, my current game of the year so far. And I want to talk about the subject of backseat gaming in today's world. Now, you got to understand where I'm coming from. When I talk about the big topic, backseat gaming, I want to talk about it because when you see people streaming nowadays, you sometimes see that. Or, you have different forms of it. So I wanted to break that down from my point of view and just kind of like talk about what I think about that, and also add in a little bit of stream sniping as well. Just kind of throw that out there. Let's see what, have it out there for people to hear my opinion on it, But with that being said, the reason that I got the first two topics is I was really looking out there, and everybody and their mothers talked about a Switch OLED. Everybody and their mothers talked about the Activision Blizzard thing, which I do not agree with the way Activision and Blizzard have been doing their stuff. That's why I'm not playing their games right now and everything. And I don't want to sit there and just I'm talking about everything that everybody else is talking about, So with that being said, I thought we could talk about something a little bit different and just kind of go through the things. We got some big things popping for the podcast coming. So anybody that is watching the Vault 13 podcast, we got some big things popping. We got somebody that runs a video game store and one of the best video game conventions being on the podcast in August. We got some other people there that I'm working to try to get on the podcast as well. And we got some other people that once they're ready, at least two of them, they can be on the podcast anytime that they want to. A live episode and or a pre-recorded episode. So we got those things popping. If you're here in the chat watching, feel free to say hi, ask me a question throughout the podcast and all that and everything like that. And we're going to have a fun time. Because that's what I want to do. Is have fun with each and every single one of you all. Day in, day out. So, currently, if you've been keeping up with my streams and everything like that, I've been playing a lot of two games on stream the last week or two. And one of them was really more than the last week, and the other one's been right before that one. And that's Death's Door and Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. So as far as the smaller of the two, the indie game, Death's Door, that game's been getting phenomenal rave reviews around there. If I go right here in Google and I say Death's Door, you can't see this on stream, but if I were to go over here and go to Death's Door and I were to go to Death's Door, let me see. Review. It's got a 9 out of 10 on IGN. Metacritic score on it says 86%. And all that. And you do and everybody's giving it good reviews. Death's Door reaches over 100,000 players in its first week. It's an indie game, and all that stuff's like, if you look at Polygon right here, I'm just going to go to one of the sites for anybody watching. And right here, we're looking at polygon, right? And I actually see this right here. Let's do this. And let's do this right here, everybody. Boom. Boom. I'll actually let y'all see that. Now that's how the game looks right there, because that's one of the characters you meet in the game when you're going up there and you're reaping these souls, right? You got that little door that you gotta be, the big door. Because now that's where you get kind of like I say a quarter of the way through the games when you meet that, and then like and they say, well, here's the rest of the game. You gotta go get these 3 bigger souls, you know. And it's like this. Death's Door may look like Dark Souls, but its learning curve is much kinder. A simple screenshot of Death's Door evokes its Dark Souls influence without you even needing to know its follow-up to Agner's previous top-down boss killer, Titan Souls. Death's Door captures that From Software gloom in an instant, but it's a more forgiving experience than its inspiration, where Soulborne games build seemingly impossible walls for you to break down. From the start, Death's Door carefully ramps up the difficulty to create a fair and compatible experience. It's still a challenge, but Death's Door reduces the likelihood you'll hit an impassable wall by slowly pushing your boundaries. Right there, that picture you see right there on the stream right there, everybody, that right there is actually like a little castle that you're actually, early in the game, you actually have to face that little castle. And it's like shooting like it'll shoot little beams at you and little rocket like projectiles at you. And man, that thing's tough at first, but once you learn how to not make sure you don't get hit by those projectiles, that beam, and you go in there, get a few hits in, get out, get a few hits in, get out, then you defeat that boss. And that's kind of how some of the bosses are, but some of them, they're kind of getting harder where I'm at, because you have the main boss that you got to fill, but then you got these other ones that are these other little characters you meet throughout the game coming through these little doors, and they're constantly going in there, so you got to sit there and say, okay, I got to damage this one, but I got to make sure these don't hit me either. And it doesn't matter if you kill 100 of those, you got to kill that one, and that's what makes the game hard. But I really do like Death's Door, everybody. What's up, Robert Smith? But I really do like Death's Door a whole hell of a lot. Death's Door, and more about Death's Door, it is a 3D top-down game. You will play as a crow, but everyone just refers to you as Reaper. It's your job to travel from the burning afterlife to claim the lives of 3 powerful souls and use them to open a spectacular door that's been sealed away. So yeah, you're trying to open the door if you like, but it's a fun game. You know, and I recommend, if you got $20, it's only $20, but it is kind of like an Xbox exclusive right now. I think it should come to the Switch and PlayStation, but it's $20 on Xbox One, Xbox Series S/X, and Windows PC, and it's a fun game. It's a game I definitely would say, hey, if you got the time and you got the platform, that PC or you got Xbox, play the game. It is definitely worth it. Definitely worth it, everybody. And the other game that I'm playing through is, it's an XCOM style game made by Ubisoft, and it is Mario plus Rabbids, you know. I plan to get it on PC next month when I get my next paycheck. Nice. Death's Door is really fun. VC and all that. Very fun. And for anybody watching also, I just want to say, just reiterate, this is later than I want it to be, but I came home, I had to deal with some stuff personally wise and all that, and that's why the podcast was late. I did that, and then I took a 30-minute nap, so that's why the podcast is later than I wanted it to be. But I wanted to still do it, and that's why, for anybody watching, I try to do my podcast between 7 and 8 o'clock Central Standard Time on Thursdays, whenever it's a solo episode, because I want to be able to have room to where, hey, I can go live an hour, and then some of the people in the community that like going live around 9 o'clock Central Standard Time, 10 o'clock Eastern, I can still go watch their streams and contribute to their content and that as well, because that's what I like to do. But as far as like the episodes that I have guests in, I kind of say, hey, we're doing it this night. You pick the time that we kind of start, you know, to kind of make it easier for them. But yeah, thank you for being here, everybody, and all that. Make sure my hair looks all right in the stream. Let me make sure. Everything like that. Let me get a drink of my sweet tea and everything, and then we'll get to what we're talking about the next game that I've been playing. The next game that I have been playing, as I type it in right over here. And if you're here in the stream watching, how are you doing? Now you can see right there on the screen, right there, the next game I've been playing is Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I had the game since last year, probably late summer, early fall is when I got the game on sale for because I used my Nintendo points, and so I got it about $20 cheaper than what it actually retails for, and everything like that. And it's got a 7.7 out of 10. By IGN, 85 on Metacritic and Polygon, and gives it an 8 out of 10. It's a really, really fun game. It's pretty simple in nature of what you do in the game, but at the same time, right where I'm at right now in the game, there is a learning curve. Because for the first couple of years, thinking, oh, it's pretty simple. You do this, you do that, but then it starts giving you that learning curve to the game, everybody. And when it gives you that learning curve, that adds in the bigger rabbits, I guess you could say, throughout the thing. That instead of being, okay, they got 100 life bar, they got over 100, and then you got to realize to change things up. But I do like the game and all that. I definitely, now that I play this game, am more hyped for the second one, Spark of Hope, which is supposed to be coming out next year, and all that. And I definitely would if you like the Mario, or you like Rabbids, which the Rabbids, I first saw them in a game called Raging Rabbids on the Nintendo Wii back in the day. And it's definitely a game. Basically the Rabbids mess with this machine and they get basically put into the Mario world. And a couple of the Rabbids don some of the personas of the Mario characters. Like there's a Rabbid Luigi, there's Rabbid Peach and stuff like that. And basically, you got to use them, and as you find the other characters, like the characters in the game, to basically get through the different little levels, and it's really, really cool. You're going through pipes like you do in Mario games. You're just traversing the things you would do in the Mushroom World, and it's definitely a game that is really, really fun for me as a gamer and everything like that. And so I'm gonna go back over here, and outside of that, as you hear my thing transition because I clicked it faster, outside of those two games that you've seen on stream, I've kind of paused on Mass Effect for a minute because I started playing these two games, and I knew these games would be shorter than Mass Effect 2 and 3 would be, so I've kind of paused on Mass Effect for a second, and I've been playing through these. And also just been playing some multiplayer stuff with friends as they want to. Either it's been I got to see Thieves after E3 in June and tried out the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff, and that is fantastic if you haven't tried it out. And I also am been seeing people stream Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I didn't get it initially on release, but I am getting it in August. And then I'll start streaming some of that for you all, and probably put it in the place of Death's Door at that time if I haven't, on streaming. Then I'll still be playing Death's Door until I beat it, because it's and everything like that. But just letting you know where we're going, kind of things. Because two of the games that I'm upcoming to play is obviously Skyward Sword on the Nintendo side of things, and on the Xbox side of things, it's Psychonauts 2, and I might even go back through 1 just so I kind of get myself in that world kind of thing. But yeah, let me know what y'all are up to tonight. Ask me questions. Feel free to say whatever you need to say and all that. And hopefully we can continue to grow right here on youtube.com/Chrislevi13, because we are at 832 right now, and that means we're less than 70 from the goal of 900 by my birthday, September 20th, 2021, where I'll be turning 30. And sometime that week, week we'll be having a big birthday blowout stream that I want to make it one of the best streams that I can do to appreciate you all and some other special things. Also in August we'll be starting the first month of monthly music streams, where one stream a month will be dedicated to me playing music, guitar, bass, all that on stream for you all viewers from around the world. Now, we've had a handful of games released this year. You know, we're about to be 8 full months into the year. We've been January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That is 7 full months throughout the year that we've been here gaming and all that this year. And we've had Resident Evil Village release, Hitman 3. If you got a PS5, you've had Ratchet and Clank. You've had Monster Hunter Stories 2 just released. We had earlier in the year Monster Hunter Rise. We had It Takes Two. We've had the remakes of games with Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 upgraded and all good visuals and all that for the current gen consoles. And that is the Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, and PS5. We've also had Super Mario World plus the new DLC kind of stuff for it with 3D Bowser's Fury. We've had Outriders released this year. Wondering what is my game of the year so far, because man, we still have Psychonauts 2 coming out. We have Ascendant Things about to just drop and all that. You've got No More Hero 3 still to come out. You still got Metroid Dread. Halo Infinite, Far Cry 6, Bad for Blood, Deathloop, and all that to release this year. So what is my current game of the year? Out of all of the games that I played this year, and I haven't played as many as I did in 2020 or 2019, and that's because money's been going elsewhere for personal things, in personal life. Plus, as y'all been keeping up with me, y'all know that I've gone through some personal struggles this year with both my parents, and it's been at times hard. Sometimes I've had to take a month or two break from YouTube, and it's hard to take a break from YouTube when you love doing this so much and your parents support you in doing this and all that, and they want and everything like that. But mentally, and because I had to put the weight of everything here on my shoulders and say, hey, I gotta be the one to go out there and do things. I haven't got to play as many games as I want to. And a lot of times you may see me play more multiplayer stuff because I'm able to interact with friends than I do the solo stuff, even though I do want to play a bunch of these solo games that have come out. So with that being said, for me, there has been 2 to 6 fire games dropping every month this year. It's been crazy. My game of the year so far is Monster Hunter Rise. Nice. So let me go right here. And if I've been talking too fast in the podcast, let me know. This will be going in the playlist for you all to see. And one day I'm going to figure out how to put this on like other platforms as well. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Okay, so let's go back out of here. For me, if I had to look at all the games, and I'm looking at it, and like I said, I wanted this time to be a little different than the average podcast. So far this year, my game of the year, indie game of the year, is Death's Door. Now that's not the AAA game or anything like that, but Death's Door is a phenomenal game. Gives you that a little bit roguelike, Zelda, Dungeon-esque, Dark Souls-esque, all that in the isometrical view thing, and the controls are very, very tight. And I gotta say, as an indie game, a lower budget game, that game is something is very phenomenal. Now, if I had to talk about big AAA games that I played this year, I could go ahead and say that Mass Effect Legendary Edition. It makes Mass Effect beautiful, and it lets me realize what I missed back in the day because I was playing BioShock, Kingdom Hearts, Halo, sometimes Gears, and so many other games, and I just didn't pick that up. How quality Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 are as games. But I do want to say, for me personally, because I didn't get to play some of the big games that released this year because I don't have an Xbox Series X yet or a PS5. If I had to say a brand new game that I played this year that even though I've only put less than 50 hours into the game can say is my game of the year, I'd have to say Capcom and the Monster Hunter series with Monster Hunter Rise might be my game of the year because that's a very good looking game on the Switch. It's a game that when you play Monster Hunter Stories 2, you get more of the single player, more of the story-based game, and you're having fun doing that. But when you play Rise, you can drop in and drop out with your friends. You can sit there and go against the different monsters in the game. And it's just a very, very positive game that came out earlier this year. And it's been steadily every month getting content, getting updates, and staying really, really relevant on the Nintendo Switch platform. And the game is just really, really fun. No matter what combination of weapon you're using, and all that, you want to go in there and do something close range, far range, whatever you want to do. It's a really, really solid game by Capcom. And Capcom, it seems like if you look at the way Capcom is doing things, they released 200 games this year. They did a lot with World. They're really pushing more with what they can do with the Monster Hunter series. And it's really, really fun. Yeah, what's up, Stitch? How you doing? Yeah, so both of y'all say Monster Hunter Rise as well as I do. That's awesome. And everything like that. So yeah, let me see something real quick. And all that. So yeah, that's pretty much my game of the year right now. And all that jazz. Now, when Forza releases, when Metroid Dread, when Halo releases, that could change my mind on what my game of the year is. If I had a PS5 and I had played Ratchet and Clank, that probably would be my game of the year. But I haven't had a chance to play Ratchet and Clank yet, personally, for myself. So, even though that game released, I haven't had a chance to play it. Like the Medium, that game looks really, really good, but I haven't had a chance to play the game, so I can't sit there and say, oh, this game's released and it's my game of the year, but yet I don't want to be one of those people that hypes up a game and they haven't even played it, because that's something that's happened before, and all that and everything. But yeah, also some other games that still haven't come out this year that I'm looking forward to is like Life is Strange 3, and all that. We had, yeah, it's just I'm just over here looking at my the games that come out this year and are going to come out this year. Hell, Scarlet Nexus looks right up my alley, but because I'm holding off on buying games in July, that game I probably won't buy until September, October. But it looks like a fun game. The game that I think is very underrated and really fun is Biomutant. Y'all probably see me stream that 3-4 times. That's a fun game that definitely is worth checking out, and all that. And you got, at the end of this year, you even got a big game that a lot of people in my community and a lot of people that I know on the Nintendo side are looking forward to. Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's coming out in November. So you never know. That if I play that game, that could change my mind on what the game of the year could be. But with that being said, let me get over here back to the chat and everything for you all so I can see the chat. Okay, cut that out. Boom. You gotta play Rise some more, Chris. You've barely into it. Yeah, I know I need to play it some more. But like whenever I was really getting heavy into Monster Hunter Rise, that's when the accident happened with my dad, and and my mind just went blue. Therefore that's what And also we had just moved like a couple months earlier prior to it, so I definitely will get back into that game more. Probably. That and Skyward Sword will be my big Nintendo games throughout the month of August. Outside of any multiplayer stuff we play. Oh, the new Shin Megami game. I'm so hyped. So you like Shin Megami Tensei, Robert Smith? So yes, and the last topic on the podcast, as we've been here for 32 minutes, it says Backseat Gaming, but also I've talked to some of my friends, and one of my friends, I was like mentioning it to him, like some of the ideas for the podcast, and some of the stuff. I'll speak on Shin Megami Tensei in just a minute. I'm just letting y'all know the last topic in a moment will be Backseat Gaming / a little bit of stream sniping. And it's because I've seen my buddy T-Belly doing his little podcast on his channel and all that. And also me and him have been talking through DMs and all that. And one of the discussions we've had in recent is Backseat Gaming. Is the way stream sniping, how the way when so many people are out there streaming games, whether it be me, you, the other person, how some people come in there and they want to just spoil the fun and all these other things. Where do I feel about that stuff, and all that? But as far as before we get into that topic, Shin Megami Tensei, I've played the older ones like a little bit, and I've seen videos, so I know a little bit of the story, and everything like that. But that game, Shin Megami Tensei, from the trailers that I've seen this year, from watching people like VC or Player Essence or my buddy Katana Riku and stuff like that, really break down and discuss the game more, it's become more of a game that's more in my mind than it was. Because at the beginning of the year, the game, like, okay, I might play the game, I might not play the game, but now seeing the game get broke down more, how much Nintendo's behind this game and all that, and people wanting to see this game succeed and all this other stuff, it's making, and also hearing people talk about the story and what they know about the game, it's like, hey, it's gonna be this good of a game, they're putting that much into it. It may be more of, hey, I need to check the game out sooner rather than later. But what's gonna be hard around that time is that's when in that month you got Pokemon coming out. That month you got Metroid Dread that released before it. You got Forza Horizon 5 coming out and all that. So it's like, by that time I could have my Xbox Series X or PS5 and I'll be going through some other stuff. So it's gonna be hard to balance, But we're gonna continue tripping on and doing that. Now, as we get into the last topic, get any questions you got for the podcast, for my game of the year, for any of the stuff that I did, talked about this year throughout the podcast, feel free to go ahead and ask any questions to yours truly, Chrislevi13. And also, as I talk about the last topic and get my thoughts on Backseat Gaming and a little bit of stream sniping, if you feel like you got any thoughts or opinions on that last topic, feel free to let them know down in the chat right now. And all that, but I'm gonna say my thoughts on the topic, and then I'll get into every question and your thoughts on this topic as well. So, me and my buddy T-Belly have talked about this about a bunch of different stuff in gaming on and off, because me and him kind of we both do different things on our channel. We both play different games, but me and him always support each other, and we always talk about a lot of things, in the community, because you gotta have some people you talk to, like some of y'all I talk to about things. But when it comes to Backseat Gaming, as a kid, for a lot of us, the age that we're at in the late 30s and on, you'd get games as a kid, and the way you saw a game was either you saw a trailer for it on TV really quick, you either saw it in a gaming magazine, or whenever you were in a Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, whatever store you were in, all you had was what's on the back of this game to know if you wanted to rent this game. Hey, you're going in there to rent a movie for the weekend, right? Your mom's saying, hey, we're going to go rent a movie, pick a movie out. Hey, well, while we're here, you got the PS2, you've got the GameCube, go rent that game for a couple days, right? And all you had was to look at the back of these games and all that, right? So you'd go in there, you'd do that, right? and all of that, you know. And so you take it home, and you really couldn't get that game spoiled by anybody, right? You really couldn't get that game spoiled. But nowadays, because of the iteration of the internet into video games so much, we as gamers love recording, sharing, streaming our love for these games by saying, hey, I'm going to go live tonight with Zelda Skyward Sword. Hey, I'm going live tonight with playing for the first time with my first blind playthrough of say Halo Reach or Metroid Fusion on stream. And we do all these things, and when you go through them, and nowadays there's going to be those people that come in there, and if they don't know you, or sometimes, or maybe they're a friend that wants to help you out, they'll sit there and say, oh yeah, in Metroid Fusion this and this happens, or in Kingdom Hearts 3 this happens, you know, and they'll sit there and blurt it out in your chat, and you're like, whoa, hold up, you know. And sometimes some people think, oh, they're just giving you tips and tricks, but they're actually spoiling the whole game for you. And I've seen that happen with a lot of retro games, because I watch a lot of retro streamers, and I've seen it with modern gaming. And me and T-Bag were talking about it, and I was like, what do you feel about it? And he's like, and he told me, he's like, if he knows people are playing the game for the first time, he tries to not spoil the game, you know. And we even reference myself. Whenever I play through games, I say you can give me tips or tricks on this game, but don't spoil the story. Because I've had time or two where I played through games and people have tried to spoil the story for me, and I'm just like, let me play through the game myself. I know y'all are hyped to share this game with me, like, because some of y'all, hey, I want to tell you about the God of War on the PS4, because I remember me playing through that game, and P-Belly was wanting to tell me a lot about the game, but he couldn't, because he knew I had to play through the game myself. So with backseat gaming in today's world, especially on the streaming side of things, I don't really like it. And I gotta say that I don't mind people giving tips or tricks, or hey, you're going through the game, press A and B or square and triangle to do a certain move, or to get to a certain area to unlock this. Cool, but if you're gonna go in there and try to spoil the game for me, so whenever I read my chat and I actually come over your comment and I see a paragraph and it's like, oh yeah, this is at the end of this Star Wars game Han Solo dies just like he did in the movie, blah blah blah. I'm like, well then you just ruined everything for me. So don't really care for it. And when you add in the little conversation we had at the same time when we did that, stream sniping, you gotta be pretty low down if you want to go in there and try to stream snipe somebody, you know. Because I was in the stream, I've been in streaming, I've gotten stream sniped before. You know, it was like last year when it happened, but I've seen that happen to me, and I've seen it happen, but it only happened like to me like once. I've seen big streamers get stream sniped, and people try to mess with people by certain things they'll do while bigger streamers are live, and I just don't condone that stuff. So that's my thing on that. So let's go to your questions now, and if you got any comments on what I said there, feel free. 5 current viewers, 6 likes. Thank you for that. What game disappointed you the most this year? I don't think I played any games. So VC asks a question. Most people talk about what games they like the most, but what game has disappointed me this year? That's a hard question. Because I don't really know if there's a game that actually has disappointed me so far this year. You know, because I'm trying to think. Let me just see. Well, I'm looking through a list of games that have released, and I'm trying to see if there's one that's disappointing the other ones that I played. Cyber Shadow was a good game. It was a phenomenal game. The Medium, from what I've seen, it looked like right down my alley. I haven't played it yet. That's a good game. See, post. Yeah, there's really not a game this year that I know I've played personally that really has disappointed me at all, you know? Yeah. So yeah, there's really not a game that I played this year that I could say is disappointing, you know, because everything from the indie games that I played this year, I forgot the name of the one that I played to be from Hades to Death's Door. Those games are games that I played, and those really haven't been bad. I mean, I played AAA games, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Monster Hunter Rise, Biomutant. Those games haven't been bad in my opinion. Now, obviously, out of all the games I played, probably the lowest quality game that to most people is probably Biomutant, just because you know, and everything like that. And I can see where that game could maybe be a little more technically sound. But there's not been a bad game to me yet. The game where I played it where I'm disappointed. Because in 2020, I had a game where I could say it's the worst game in 2020. A game that disappointed me. And it was supposed to be the return to arcade style wrestling games. And be a little, and the reason it's supposed to be a return to arcade style wrestling games, so it'd give the people that make wrestling games another year to work on it. And that last year was WWE 2K Battlegrounds. That game is shit to me. I don't like that game at all. You know, and I bought that game outright. And everything like that. Let me see what you're saying. I wouldn't do it unless someone asked or has the tag on the stream. John often has the tag on the stream. Robert Smith says, people love to share how they think the game should be played and causes problem when a streamer or guy behind the camera deviates from that, and this. That is true. I've noticed that in games, that when games have multiple paths you can play, and all that in the game, when people go from the normal way of playing it, there's a lot of people that will have their stuff on there. Yes. Because people want to put their opinion on how they say this is what you should play, this is how you should play, this is who you should play with on stream, and they want it back and tell you how to do what you are doing on stream, you know. And I get that totally. And what's up, Slayer768? How you doing, man? How you doing? But yeah, so yeah, we got 7 likes on the stream. Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, if y'all got any questions or anything like that, feel free to let me know and all that, and I'll just run through some things that will be going on over the next few weeks. For content channel and out there, some elitist on Monster Hunter that love to tell you what skill / armor you should have. I hate those dipshits. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is that that's the thing. Monster Hunter. I've seen people streaming that on Twitch, and like there's people that are saying, "Oh, well, it's easier to play this and play this and do this and do that and wear this and do that," and they're telling the streamer basically they chose, hey, to use this combination, and they're telling the streamer basically what they're saying is don't use that, use this and do that, and it's like. You're not the one streaming the game. You're not the one playing the game. Let the person do what they want to do. Now, if they're doing something totally like that's not working, and they ask for your thoughts and opinions, feel free to give it to them. Oh yeah, people who pray to the quote unquote meta. Yeah. And another thing that I don't like in backseat gaming or in any of that stuff that may realm that well is when you play nowadays, because of, oh, I got a PS5 or oh, I got an Xbox Series X. When people want to say, oh, these AAA games, oh, it's best to play this game here. It's best to play that game here. You know, in most cases, it's best to play a game on a PC if you got a powerful enough PC that can play this third-party game. But you know what? There's people like me that I don't care if I have the most powerful PC in the world. I prefer having a controller and playing a game on a console. And if it's a multiplayer game on console, I'll play the console that has more friends playing the game on. PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. But if it's a single player game that may have multiplayer in there and it's on one of these consoles, I don't care what console I'm playing it on most times. You know, I don't care if it has dips in this or that, you know. And if it's a fun game, it's a fun game. Don't sit there and tell me, oh, I shouldn't play this game on the Nintendo Switch because it only runs at 30. But yeah, you can play it on your Xbox Series X or PS5. You can play it in 4K or you can play it in 60 frames. And, you know, and all these other features. And it's like, sometimes those features look cool, like for Ratchet and Clank. But for me, if I'm having fun playing it on the Switch, then hey, I'm going to play it on the Switch. If I'm having fun playing a game, multiplayer game on the Switch, I'm going to play it on the Switch because that's where my friends are playing it, or the PlayStation. And people are like, oh, well, play it on your PC, you can do all these fidelity things, blah, 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 you know. I don't care about that. It's where I prefer to play the games where I know I will have the most fun. What's up, Dark Joey X12? We're in the part of the podcast where just today we're going to be, it's Q&A if you want to ask any questions, talk about anything, and all that. And before I get out here, I'll kind of go over things. Do you still play Biomutant? Is it one of your game of the years, or was it disappointing? No, Biomutant was not disappointing to me at all. It's, you know, it's a little slow of a game, and there's a lot to do in the game. But as far as me playing the game and all that, I'm probably 15, 20 hours into the game, maybe. And obviously, y'all saw me. I got the collector's edition that had all the like special stuff in it, the trophy, like the statue and everything that. But would I say it's my game of the year? I feel like it's one of those games that I put on like the level of State of Decay 2 or something like that. Because if you know State of Decay, the developers that made State of Decay, right? Can't think of the name of the studio that makes State of Decay. They were more of an indie style studio, and when they made State of Decay 1 and 2, they played it just for the Xbox, right? And then Xbox buys them, and Xbox says you have money to do whatever you want to with State of Decay 3. And when we saw the little preview for State of Decay 3, it looks way better. This game looks like a very, very polished AA game. You know, it's very fun. You know, I like the combat in it that you do as your little like mice like style character. You got a couple different classes you can choose from. You know, you get your bigger weapons, you got your melee weapons, and your gun type weapons and all that, and everything like that. And it's kind of an interesting story because you're trying to see what side you should choose, the good, the bad, and as you unlock more of the area and the map, you can travel to different places and all that. It's a fun game, you know. So if you see anybody streaming it and you feel like, hey, it's a game worth getting, get it. Now, would I say it's a game of the year contender? It looks good, but if they would have maybe had more money or more time, maybe a little bit more time, even though this game was announced long ass time ago, I feel like if the game would have had more polish and maybe been made for the Xbox Series X/S or PS5, it could have been in a contender, but I don't believe it's a contender for my game of the year. So I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. If y'all want to ask me anything, feel free. If y'all don't get any more questions in, then I'll kind of go through what's gonna be going on with streams and some content and some things with the podcast, and then we'll get out of here. We will be rating somebody after the stream. So to the 6 current viewers, the 9 likes on the stream, I just want to let everybody know that there's a guy that runs a gaming convention that happens during the summer, and he owns a video game store that I've been to, the video game store that I got my PS2 from, and all that. Let me see. I'll get to that in just a second. You guys asked, what change, if any, would you make to a game that you've played this year that you found disappointing? Okay, I'll speak on Biomutant again. It's not a game that I think is really overall disappointing. I just wish it had a little bit more polish to it, and because wait. I'll actually put Biomutant to the side because Biomutant just needs a little bit more polish to me, and so maybe a little bit more you can do. What's the other game that came out this year? The game that came out by Square Enix. I played it this year. I can't think of what it's called. Outriders. Outriders is a game that I really enjoy. Outriders. I wish Outriders had full. If I could fix Outriders up, I'd make sure it had full. It has cross progression, full cross play, to where if I'm playing on an Xbox, I can play with somebody on a PlayStation. I don't know if it's got all that in it, because I remember that I started the game through the demo on PS4, and I was like, well, the game's going to be on Game Pass. Why don't I just transfer my stuff over to and start it on the Xbox and play it through there without having to purchase the game, because I didn't have the money at the time, because that was right when the stuff happened with my dad, and it didn't happen. So I wish that they would sit there and say, hey, you got cross progression, cross play fully in this game, and I wish the game just didn't feel so repetitious, where some of the stuff in the game you do just feels like, oh, it's just needless. It's just put in there sometimes just for you to do this, just for you to do that, just for you to do that, you know? Because it has some elements of Gears of War. It has some elements of some other shooters in there, but it just feels like a grind. So too much of a grind at times when you're playing by yourself, that it gets kind of annoying to me, you know? And it's kind of like some of the enemies and some of the stuff I was doing in the game seemed like a bullet hell. Yeah, I never played Resident Evil 3, the remake, but I did play the original, like, back in the day with with a friend and all that. But, yeah, I've seen people even stream the original, and when it comes to that game, I heard that they took a lot out to make the game shorter, but yet you missed some of the charm of the original 3. And back to Outriders, Outriders isn't a bad game. It isn't a bad concept. It just feels like it's a little bit of a bullet hell with some of the enemies. Wish crossplay and cross progression were a must in that game, and all that. And maybe have a little bit more of a beefier story added to it. That's just me, because what they got there base wise is phenomenal. So we've almost been here. We've been here 55 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know a little bit about what we're going to be doing over the next month right here on youtube.com/Chrislevi13, as we are on the road to 1K subscribers. So with everybody here, thank you all for being here. I'm not jumping out right now, but I will let y'all know as far as this podcast goes, I'm going to try to make it happen every week or every other week. So you will know that every month going forward, you'll get the podcast 2 or more times per month, and there will be additional of pre-recorded episodes gonna start happening, where some of the pre-recorded episodes may have 1 or 2 topics dedicated to it, and not 3 topics like these episodes do, and everything like that. And today we didn't talk about the wrestling, even though a lot's been happening in wrestling. I kind of put that to the side and all that just for today. But with some of the pre-recorded episodes, they will have topics about maybe my journey in music, wrestling, or gaming. They may be focused around, hey, a topic that I feel like, hey, would be cool to do that, because I've talked to some people, I polled some people, and it wasn't like a Twitter poll. It wasn't like I got a community tab on YouTube and can do a poll, because I don't got that yet. But I kind of just did some behind the scenes thing, and we're going to be doing that just to add in a little bit more variety. Plus, also, there's some things I want to speak on, and to have it up there in a podcast form would be something that would be cool for you all to have experience in additional content and all that. But I do have two guests lined up. One does a lot of retro gaming. One does modern gaming. Both of them have told me that once they got one of them, really once he gets freed up, we will be sitting down for an exclusive podcast cast for you all. He doesn't really do podcasts, but he said he would do one for me because of how good of friends we are. The other one, she's gonna just when she's ready to do it. And then the guy that does the video game convention and owns the video game store in Mississippi, he'll be coming on in August. He was going to come in this month, but he had surgery and all that, so he'll be coming on in August. So yeah, and he has a video game convention that a lot of the retro video game people love going to, and it's a convention that I almost went to in 2020 until COVID hit, and then this year, if I didn't have the stuff with my dad, I wouldn't have gone to that convention this year. But next year, we're going to try to go to that convention, and outside of that, as far as streaming content goes, we're going to be doing some more Death Store, more Mario plus Rabbids, and then we're going to transition that on the Switch side of things over into Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I've been seeing VC play it, Mandely plays. I've been talking to my buddy T-Bay as he played through the game, and it's one of those games that I know I'm going to have a lot of fun playing, so that's that. I'm going to be checking out the Ascent sooner or later on stream and everything like that. And Psychonauts, we're going to be checking that out on stream with you all. And then we're going to be going into Metroid Dread later this year, Forza, and all that stuff in streaming content. And as far as videos go, we will be talking about Forza and obviously Halo. As they give stuff like Halo, they have like the little tech thing that they're running now, where people can got little tech things to be able to play some of the tech parts of the game. And the multiplayer in Halo Infinite looks really, really cool. The way the game looks and is running, story and multiplayer on the base Xbox Ones and Xbox One S's and X, looks really, really good and solid. So hopefully I can have an Xbox Series X play the game, because I'd rather play it in the best version I can, being that it's one of my favorite series. But if not, and I play it on that one until I can get the next series and then transfer everything over, it still looks really, really good. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we're gonna wrap everything up and all that. So yeah, everybody, we're gonna wrap everything up. Robert Smith, VC, Dark Joey X12, Stitch, Slayer768, and Sir Jacob. Thank you all for being here. Thank you everybody that gave it a like and all this. And we'll be going to the playlist. Go check out my other episodes of the podcast as well. We did an episode with VC on the podcast, and if any of you all ever want to be featured on the podcast, whether it be in a pre-recorded episode because of, hey, you'd rather do a pre-recorded episode, have a conversation, and then be premiered on the channel, let me know. If you want to be on a live episode where we can have people join in, ask questions, all that cool stuff, let me know that as well, because we got a lot of things going there. We got fire, boom, boom, boom. But yes, it's been fun talking about these and all that. I'll probably be live tomorrow night since I got the weekend off at work, and if I'm live tomorrow, I'll probably either more Mario plus rabbits, unless we may be doing something with friends. Anyway, I'm yours truly, Chrislevi13. It's only up from here as we're on the road to 1K. We got about 170 left to do. We can do that. And yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good Friday. And yeah, hit me up in my DMs if y'all want to continue to talk, or come over by the Discord, Discord page, and let's make that Discord a little bit more fire and have some good conversations there on and off stream. Anyway, I'm yours truly, Chrislevi13, and I'll see you in the next video and our stream. Stay awesome.